While out on patrol of the underwater passages around the colony, Tallie, Koof, and some Aculian warriors squared off against a pair of sea serpents feasting on the remains of a prior patrol. It was a pretty brutal fight, with Koof nearly being killed outright and Tallie taking some solid damage. They headed back to the colony for some much-needed healing. Meanwhile, under the dubious scrutiny of Lemon, Brasha made some headway into wrapping his head around the technology of the weather-altering device up in the hive ship, and makes note that many of the time-worn components could be healed by Akim's kinetic healing. Akim, for his part, has explored some more of the ruined lower section of the caves, and discovered a room filled with smoky black crystals filled with the psychic anguish of beings smothered in one of the recent cave-ins. Taking the time to clear it out as best he could with his equipment, and beset with the trauma that took place within, Akim sent a worker drone to fetch Lemon to perhaps cleanse this area. And we left off with Lemon having received this message, and on his way down to Akim was met by a tattered Tallie, Koof, and hunting party. So I want to start out with Tallie's reaction to Lemon, or Lemon's reaction to Tallie.
Lemon will assess the group, and without saying much, he'll at least cast some basic healing if they actually are in need of true healing.
Okay, about that. So, Tallie, where are you at on HP?
I'm 24 out of 39, so okay. Not terrible, but yeah. Probably a chunk missing out of a shoulder from being bit.
Yeah, Koof is still quite hurt, and two of the Aculians took solid damage. So, just recommending it. You don't have to if you don't feel it's needed here. If you'd want to use spells, you got a healing channel.
Yes, and that's what I'll actually be doing. All right, so I will spend a resolve point. Yep. So the healing channel is basically Lemon channeling divine energy through him from his god Sarenrae and letting it wash over them. In this, mechanically, I have to spend a resolve point. So let me subtract as a resolve point. Mm-hmm. And then let's look at the ability quick so I make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Yep, I think this is the first healing channel.
I think this is like the first healing we've done.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend one resolve point to channel this energy. Healing yourself with channeled energy is a move action. Healing an ally you touch is a standard action, and healing all allies within 30 feet is a full action. This energy restores 2d8 hit points and increases by 2d8 at level 3 and every 3 levels, therefore. So, Lemon will be taking a full action in that he has everyone gather around as he kind of like, I guess you could even call it like a little faith circle.
Okay, fine. No.
The you don't have to join hands, but he encourages it.
Wait, do we have to sing Kumbaya?
No. Lemon will bow his head as he begins gathering the energy and states, "O divine Sarenrae, please give your mercy of life upon these needy people so that they can better perform their daily toils and serve this world in all the glory and fashions that they can." And with that, he will kind of build up a token spell of fire. And from that token spell of fire, it will bellow out across in a shining glow, a warm, soothing light encompassing all in the area. And all people that I consider allies, which at this point, I don't think I'd consider anybody an enemy. So all people that need it will receive some healing. And let me get some dice.
Cool. And it was 2d8 plus another 2d8 at level 3, and then another one at 5. So it's going to be a total of
48. So it's going to be a total of 48.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes. Hopefully I don't roll, buckus. So 7, 11, 19, and that'll be a total of 26 healing.
Wow. That's pretty good. That's way more than I needed.
Koof,
so that
is it
will heal
full?
hit points.
Okay. Yeah, Koof is at full. The 2 Aculian warriors are at full, and it sounds like Tallie is also at full.
Yes, I am.
Right on. So, yeah. So describe like what kind of like they had large puncture wounds from these bites. Do you have any flavor as far as
So for the healing, the healing will actually feel a little hot, like almost like a you'd almost feel the heat of like something hot heading towards you, but it never actually hurts, even though you can feel the heat rising, and the wounds themselves actually smoke, and you almost hear like a simmer sound, like something simmering from heat, as the wounds will heal, a little bit of bubbling from the juices of their bodily fluids on the wounds. But after it is done, everything is stitched back together, unless they still need more healing, and they should be perfectly healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the way I would look at it is this: that the serpent actually bit a chunk out of her shoulder, with that much damage. So, I look over. Tallie looks over, and she could see on her left shoulder, like just the skin and everything reknitting itself and reforming back to normal.
Also, the healing will leave no scar.
Okay.
Saren Rain's blessing forgives all issues.
Tallie, Koof, all healed up. Lemon, you were sent down, and this is what you see. So, how do you react to getting to see your friend again when you could have died?
Thank you so much. That is so much better. Oh my gosh. That's really hurt, and I really missed having you out there having my back, Lemon.
I know that you are a strong, proud warrior, and I'm sure that I was assured in my faith that you would come back to us. And I am glad that all of you are safe. I hope that the lessons you learned will improve your future scuffles.
I certainly will. Practice always, Actually, what did I say? Oh, yeah, but whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I think when it comes to fighting, makes you better at it too.
I'm pretty sure Brasha or Akim might say cybernetics make you stronger, but yes, I strongly believe that faith can drive you much, much further along than any form of technology.
I'm not so sure about that. I think maybe a combo of both.
Faith comes in many ways. Sometimes you have to have faith in yourself and reassurance. If that involves some modifications to give you better confidence, then in the way that is faith in yourself.
I have faith in justice, and Tallie will roar, just for effect, start up the chainsword. Okay, nice. That justice.
Lemon will kind of shake his head and sigh a bit.
She giggles at him.
The worker drones that were helping the Aculian warriors carry the carcass of the sea serpent you felled kind of jump at the sound of you starting up a chainsaw sword. But then they relax, and then they keep dragging it along. Koof goes up to you, Lemon, says, "Appreciate it, Lemon. Well, fuckers almost got me. But I appreciate it."
Well, I'm sure that you learned some valuable experience from the battle, and getting an edge towards death can give much more greater value in hindsight to your life.
Yeah, and I need better armor than this shit. And he just starts tearing off the the art for the hobgoblins that I was kind of using as a basis. It's like what's the 3-letter PVC armor. Like it's just crappy spandexy kind of thing. He's just ripping it off. He's still fairly clothed, but he's just going to help the other Aculians drag the sea serpent, and they go up the path toward where Kodai was hanging out. And it's just you and Tallie and the worker drone that came and fetched you now.
I look at Lemon and I will ask, hey Lemon, what has happened while I was gone? Anything interesting?
Not much, to be honest. Although it does seem that Akim has requested my presence down at the tunnel that collapsed earlier. I'm not exactly sure what is going on, but I shall find out soon. You are welcome to join me if you wish, though you have been through quite an ordeal, so I can understand if you wish to rest. Brasha is still tinkering. Hopefully he can actually do what he's thinking he can do. I think he needs Akim to actually assist him with a few things. You don't have any copper wire on you, do you, Tallie?
I don't believe so.
I figured as much. He was looking for some.
But I take my shoulder and I kind of, rotate it around in circles and I go, the shoulder's fine, I'm fine. I'm more than happy to accompany you. I gotta keep you two out of trouble as it is.
Yes, keeping us out of trouble.
Irony.
Without any further delay, let us go. I do not know if this is a extremely pressing matter or not.
All right, let's go then.
I will look towards the drone to continue leading the way.
Yeah, he leads you. They lead you down. Takes you some time, and in that time, I'm going to go back up to Brasha. You're back up in the hive ship. You're observing this alien device. You have it kind of not busted open. You have it opened up. You have its innards kind of marked where Akim's magic healing can, or not really, kind of magic healing can take effect. But you're in here. You're alone. What are you thinking? What are you doing?
I am just going to be continuing to tear this thing apart. I really want to figure out how this thing works when it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Taking scans with my my little handheld device, like pretty much just taking pictures of everything and trying to figure out what it exactly does.
Okay. What kind of toolkits do you have on you?
I think just a mechanics.
Just mechanics. Okay.
Engineer's kit.
Okay. Is it not it's not a specified one, right? Just a standard engineer kit?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll say you have the capability to do like a scanning feature. That's fine. That makes sense to me. A little diagnostic tool and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I want to be able to rebuild this machine somewhere else.
Sure. Okay. I've been keeping track of your progress. You've been just blowing up the engineering checks. So you are, it's going to take time. Like you don't have, like right now, this is just kind of observation and note taking. So you make your scans. It'll take some time. If you had access to any sort of robust infosphere that you could access things, you may be able to do more with it. But right now, you are doing as diligently as possible. So you have this thing even more torn apart and spread out around this room.
Yeah, I am taking it right down to the screws and wires.
Oh my god. Okay, give me an engineering check.
Okie dokie. 39.
Yes, okay. Marking that down. So you're doing this, and this is taking a while. Like you're being careful, you're being methodical. You're no stranger to this. I mean, the technology being used is a bit unfamiliar. It's kind of some connections are like being made in your head as you're doing. Like obviously this is a capacitor. Obviously this is oh man, I had so many cool techie terms in my head, and then I decided to watch fucking anime this afternoon and I pushed them all out of my head. But just like
I can figure out the pistons and the screws and everything.
Yeah, there's focusing lenses and coax cables and RF modulators. For those that do know what those are, I just said a bunch of stupid shit.
Bounce the beam off the reflector dish.
Parts of particle.
Beam off the reflector dish.
Yeah. Reverse the polarity. There's a lot of stuff going on, but as you get further and further into this thing, and this cavern, it was fairly spacious, but this was the only thing in it, and now you have it just torn the hell apart, and you're left alone. Every now and then, if you deign to pay enough attention to outside of your work, you'll see kind of a sentries will walk by, poke their head in, look at you, and then walk away. So this goes on for a while, but you're in it. This is how's Brasha feeling about, like, is this just like a pig and shit kind of thing?
Maybe, if that's a good thing.
Obviously, it's a good thing. People still say pig and shit. That's a descriptor.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Back in my day.
I'm gonna run a poll, and you're gonna eat your words when you realize everyone knows what that means.
That's fine. I'm fine with being wrong. I'm not.
But how is Brasha feeling? Just being left alone to his devices. This device.
Yeah, he's having a lot of fun. He's probably like really focused on it, and every now and then he'll like call out for like coffee or something, and just wait for it to be brought to him.
Okay. So okay, that's a good point. You do, and it takes some time, but eventually, and I even had this in my notes. It's funny that you did that. Yeah. Brasha back up in the hive ship, taking detailed, intricate notes and possible scans of the weather machine when Koof brings him a meal of freshly cooked sea serpent and coffee from Fortinbras. That's literally what my notes are this episode. One of them, anyway. Yeah, you call for it, and it gets heard. Like, these empty hallways carry sound, and it takes some time, but eventually Fortinbras, Koof, and a worker drone do show up, and Koof has a spear. He's got a shield, and he's wearing new digs. He's wearing, if you care to acknowledge his presence, he walks up and he is wearing the skin of the sea serpents. While this has been going on, you were in here for a while, so I'm kind of like playing with time a little bit here. Mm-hmm. He spent some time and did a roughshod sewing of the sea serpent skin, and he is wearing this leather armor. It's extremely archaic in that there are no environmental protections. There's no computerized system. He is just straight up wearing sewn together sea serpent skin. But Fortinbras is following behind, and he has floating above his hands a tray of this freshly cooked sea serpent and some bowls of water.
Nifty. Yeah, I don't pay a ton of attention to them, obviously, because why would I? But yeah, when it's them delivering me food and not like the drones that I expected, I'll acknowledge them and say, Gabo, you got some new digs. They look good on you.
Yeah, I nearly got fucking ate by one of those serpents. So we got him. And this is my prize. Apparently, killing one of these things is a big deal to the people. It normally takes a bunch of them to do it, but basically it was me and Tallie.
Yes, I'm not surprised Tallie was able to kill handedly. She's quite capable in her own right.
It got a little close though. She took a lot. I lost a lot of blood.
Well, hopefully that doesn't attract more of them then.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Koof tightens it. If they come, I'll be ready. And Fortinbras steps up and hands you a bowl of water, and he's looking at this disassembled technology all around. He doesn't step very far into the chamber. He doesn't want to knock anything, but he hands out a bowl to you. You're making great progress, Brasha. Is there any tinkering with this water I can do for you?
I would like it hot and flavored like bean juice.
I presume you mean coffee bean juice.
Well, preferably. I don't know the extent of what you can do.
And he does exactly what he did before. On his chest, a holy symbol of Triune glows bright, and he casts his hand out, and the contents of the bowl swirl, they froth, and it smells strongly of coffee again.
Thank you, Fortinbras. You are just a delight to have around, especially in this dingy place. You know, if you want, I could do you next.
No thanks. I'm good. You just stay focused on that. And he's got his hands up. He's like thanks, but no thanks. I don't know how you're able to do this so well. This is completely alien to me.
Yeah, it's not too surprising. It's pretty archaic, but back on my home planet, we didn't really have machines. So any machines I got to tinker with were my own invention and did not last long. So I'm a little bit more used to this roughshod conditions than most.
I will leave you to it. If you need anything, just send this lad, and he's going to reach down and brush the back of the worker drone, and it's just going to go to a corner and just sit there in a sentry position.
I'll nod to them and kind of as they're leaving, as like a side thought. Fortinbras, actually, I mean, I know that you're fully capable and whatnot, but are you sure you don't want any upgrades? I was looking at getting a bit more into biotech, and I figure practicing on someone with a bit more robotic of a body structure might be easier for me.
Well, I'll tell you what. We get out of here. We get out of here safe, and everyone sound. Sure, why not? I'll go under the blowtorch.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, I already patched you up to look all spick and span. Just this is the same thing, just on the inside, kind of. I'm sure I can do it, probably.
Okay. This SRO, who is entirely cybernetic, doesn't have really facial features. His head area is, as described before, like a sci-fi bug zapper, but you get the strong feeling that this dude is just filled with trepidation. But he'll incline his head to you, and I look forward to the experience together. And Koof.
Yeah, I give him a little bit of a salute.
Okay.
Without putting any of my tools down, obviously, and just well, back to work then.
Fortinbras and Koof step out, and the little drone doesn't say a word, doesn't say anything telepathically, just kind of finds a empty corner of the thing and sits and just watches you, and they depart. Back to the lower levels, Akim, you spent a good amount of time clearing out this, what you were able to identify as void glass. This smoky black crystalline mess all over this cavern. You have a melee weapon that helps you kind of bypass hardness. No, you have a fusion that bypasses hardness, and you...
They both do.
Okay. So you spent some time just clearing this entire cavern. You took several breaks as this this mental anguish of the people, the beings that died here, kind of just overwhelms you. And on one of your breaks, because you still have engineer Ludo's dark vision goggles, you see walking up is the worker drone you sent, followed a few paces behind is Tallie and Lemon.
We walk up, hey.
Hey.
How are you? What's been going on while I was out?
It's, yeah. Hold
here,
on.
and I'll just throw a piece of the glass at them.
Jeez. Okay.
Is that better?
Roll for initiative. No, I'm kidding.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I let it hit the ground.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, rolling in the ground in front of you
Okay.
is a little chunk, fist size.
Yeah, they're about.
What's
Well, I am
this?
recording locally.
And I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up.
Okay.
Because I don't know any better.
Sure. Yeah. Tallie, when you pick it up, I need you to give me a will save. Yeah.
As I said, because I don't know. Tallie doesn't know any
he
better,
won't
even
shut
though
up.
I know
Yeah.
what this stuff did from what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and will, because we all know soldiers are have really good will saves. And no, that's a 13.
Okay.
Not great.
It's,
No, not great at all. As this smoky black
Here, and I'll just throw a
glassy
piece of the glass
crystal
at them.
kind of stirs to life, it kind of pulsates, and you're filled with a very strong sense of dread. It feels like this entire cave is starting to come in around you. You feel claustrophobia set in. You feel like you're never going to get out of this God's forsaken cave.
I knew it! We're never going home! We're trapped here!
Lemon will
freak out.
Lemon will take the piece of glass from her.
It's not you. It's them.
Heard that before.
Lemon got a 17 will save.
Okay, yeah, you got it. You feel it, Lemon. You do feel like the tendrils of fear go against you. And also, just as a side thing, do tieflings and Azamar have anything about fear effects? Anything?
No.
I don't know.
No,
Okay.
we don't.
No.
We are normal. We are susceptible, just like any other normal human.
I wasn't sure if soldier had anything, but no.
Okay, yeah, no, you do feel like nowhere to the effect that you see Tallie displaying, but you feel the tendrils, the doubts, the feeling of this is a tomb, but it passes. And give me a mysticism check if you hold on to it.
That would be a 25.
Oh yeah, void glass, and I'm going to kind of repeat what I've already said about it. It's
not you.
It's the physical manifestation of psychic anguish. It's fairly lucrative because it can be fashioned into weapons, ammunition, and armor. I feel like your check may not focus so much on the prices, but rather the actual mysticism behind it. This isn't a very common material. That's why the price is as it is. But you do recognize it. You know, you've heard tell of this psychic infused terror crystals.
By the way, am I still affected after I hand it off to him?
After a moment, or it doesn't last long.
Okay, because I ranted to them
shaken.
how these people, I was right. They're totally keeping us as slaves here. And I'm about ready to go book it out to go start beating them up, and then I
will stop Tallie, kind of get in front of her. And do I know what condition it's doing to her?
You could do a check, but she's clearly shaken.
Yeah, sure.
And yep.
Okay, if she's shaken. I know shaken's not like a huge reaction. Shaken's more like, you know, you got the creeps. It's like the people that are in a horror movie that haven't seen the monster yet, but they suspect something's around.
That is very apt that you say that. Yes.
The thing of it.
Or for the video game nerds out there, it's the scene in any Batman Arkham game where you take out the first or second guy before they're randomly shooting everything.
Yeah, and that's where Tallie is right now. She's that guy. And the thing is, she already has all these suspicions anyways about this place. So it just brought him right up.
So I will stop her and then cast lesser remove condition, which will get rid of shaken.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh. What the friggin'... What was that?
It is this item. It is this item. It causes anguish in individuals. It depends on what impressions were last left. These can be very valuable, but can also be very dangerous in the wrong hands. I've actually heard of individuals taking these, crafting physical bullets with them, so when they shoot their opponent, the effects frighten them even further than just a physical wound.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
And that's actually for Dawn. Terrible. That's for you, because I'm literally making that stuff up because that's what I would use it for.
No, that's what it does.
Totally.
Yeah. Targets...
No. I mean, I'd make ammunition out of it. I'd literally make bullets out of that. Oh my god,
that is awful.
Yeah, no, that's literally that's you can do it. That when it's in an ammo, targets. Where is it? Basically, it's a +1 to an enhancement bonus to damage and to demoralize critical effect. So that's very.
Oh, that's it. That's lame.
Yeah. I mean, that does a couple other things, but those immune to mind affecting or immune. Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I shoot you with something. Make a will save. That's what I'd go with.
I'm fine with exploring that too. I like that. I'm kind of embellishing what they put anyway. So yeah, I'll take note of that. That's good. Thank you.
Give the shaking condition.
Actually, another good way of doing it is not just armor, but make like a pendant or mask out of it, so it enhances your intimidate ability or something like that.
I'm glad this is recorded.
Yeah. But then you have it in contact with you, and after what just happened, no. I don't think so.
Again, you make a mask out of it. You put it on the face of the mask, not against your skin.
It's I thought it was proximity. Well, maybe you have to touch
it's contact.
Get some like nice felt underneath it, nice and soft.
We can absolutely play with what it can do. But Akim, you just threw this to him.
Yeah, and he's like, if he was on his break, he's probably like sitting on like 3 or 4 crates full of the shit that he's obviously mined up.
Okay.
I look at it disconcernedly.
Look at you them, and then I go, can you build up any kind of an immunity to this thing with enough exposure?
Not that I am aware of. This isn't like...
Why are we taking why have we got crates of it?
Because it's in the way.
I can understand. I can also understand that some lucrative profit can come from this, though generally in the worst of hands.
I look at Akim for what you were about to say.
It's in the way. They have to reinforce this tunnel. The cavern smashed a bunch of them, probably made this shit.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
And they're like the psychic people, right? We don't need them all feeling that.
Understandable. It is good that you inform me of this. I do not know if there's a way that we can lessen the burden to make it more functional to work here or not. Taking out what is here, though, should help. If we can cover it up, keep it out of sight so people can't touch it easily, that would also be of assistance.
That's what I've been working on, but I can only go 5 or 6 minutes at a time before it gets to be too much.
Understandable. You've done quite well, to be honest.
You have, if you've gathered that much.
You might want to take a break, in fact. Brasha is actually asking for you. Something about one of your powers can assist him.
There's something old or busted in a way you can fix. Alright, here, trade, and I'll hand off my drill.
Okay.
I don't want to work with Duff.
Tallie, I will be here. Do not worry. I will see what I can do about directing you so that you do not touch it. In fact, as long as you're wearing gloves and seal your suit's environments, you should not be coming in. Well, actually, before I finish that statement.
It got me through the shoes,
to the
so
GM.
I'm not sure if that's going to work.
Yeah, so to the GM, by contact, what do we mean?
The crystals themselves, the initial physical contact, you can kind of like once you are aware of it, like it was kind of, Akim threw it to you and you didn't know any better, so it kind of took you by surprise. But now knowing it, I'm gonna kind of hand wave a little bit, like you feel, but you aren't overwhelmed. It was the initial contact, and the crystals themselves are a problem, sure, but what's a real big thing, and Lemon, I'd like you to give me a mysticism check again as you're standing outside this cavern.
Oh, horrible. 19.
Okay. That's not that horrible.
It is
you
to me.
feel... I know. Just like, when you said horrible, I'm like, okay, is it in the 20s? But no, you're good. You feel from the cave, and you've probably felt it before in your travels as a Serenite, this is a very awful place. The crystals are besides the point. Going into this cavern, any of you are going to be subjected to that fear just because it's a localized area, kind of all encompassing you. And something that I was playing with here is how Lemon is going to cleanse this. This isn't really Devils is written, so if you're listening to this podcast expecting a hard rule following adventure, no. I want to play with these abilities. The mystics have a lot of cool abilities. You are a healer mystic. You are a follower of Serenray. I feel like we can work out a mechanic where you spend some time going through and kind of, like you've put bodies to rest, kind of expunge the terror, the gruesome psychic. I keep saying psychic anguish because it just sounds so fucking badass.
Basically, I shall be ghost therapist.
Basically. But what I did want to ask you, as someone who is familiar with mechanics, since we are making this up, I've asked a couple people and I've got some different feedback on it, but I want you, since it's your ability you're going to be using, do you feel that this should be a combination of a resolve point plus mysticism plus time, or no resolve point used, just as some mysticism checks and some time? How do you feel about that?
I think resolve point is actually quite good. To be honest, I always feel like there's not enough use of resolve points in many ways.
Thank you. Yeah, that's where I was coming from this too, so cool.
Also, I almost feel like, I don't know how many people have played Mutants and Masterminds before, but in that game, you can get what are called hero points. And by using hero points, you can actually augment your current abilities to do something you normally can't.
I do know some Starfinder pods and games and groups that use hero points. I've never really taken to them. That could be a conversation for another time.
I feel like a resolve point is the equivalency of a hero point, to be honest.
That's fair. Okay, cool. You feel this, like you feel, but you're kind of girded against it, and that your mysticism kind of, even with the 19, like this isn't like so foreign that you are assaulted by it, but going into here, you feel it. You can almost hear the screams. You can almost feel the scratch marks against the rocks of people that were trapped. And in this room, it's dark, but you have dark vision. Mm-hmm. There are some bodies kind of laying crushed underneath the rubble. There is a small body of water in this particular cave room, but it's just a shallow little pool. There's no like exit tunnel, or the people definitely would have taken it, but you feel this all around you. And if you want to go about start cleansing this. Spend another resolve point. Give me a series of mysticism checks, and just walk me through what this looks like. And please embellish as much as you want, because like this feels so much like what Lemon would do and what he has done. Like, I'm cool with whatever flavor you want to attach to this.
Okay. So I would let Tallie do some of the work, actually, to clear out some of the area, while I gather any remains or kind of direct towards some of the, and I'm assuming kind of feeling out where the psychic push is mostly coming from, or the lingering anguish. Head towards like those spots, particularly to, I'm assuming, where the remains of where an individual will be. Of course, Lemon would be worried that over time their anguish would manifest into a form of ghost or malevolent spirit, as it does often with many individuals that are lost in space or the drift.
So yeah, definitely around the bodies there is some, but definitely where there are claw marks in the stone itself, like it is all over. This is a not fun place at all as you go around.
So my first mysticism check would be a 28.
Okay, yeah.
I'm assuming to spend the time to gather up the various points to make sure I at least gather the anguished souls, or what would be remaining of like the soul energy.
Okay, yeah. Does this have any fire affectation to it? Any symbols glowing or anything like that?
At this point, no, because I would assume the first step would be gathering up the, I guess you could almost call it ingredients, which are the souls, the people, their remains, what they're attached to, whether it be a necklace, their skull, what's left of their body, or something important. Because souls don't always attach to just their physical remains, but they may attach to a very emotionally important remain. Watches, a gun, favorite pair of socks. So I would assume part of that check would be kind of identifying that with amongst them.
Yeah.
Once that's all set, gather up to where the incident happened. This is where we can really start to have fun with various magical effects.
Please.
Though I don't have an illusion-based spell, possibly a larger manifestation of a token spell, since token spells can do all sorts of stuff, is possibly almost give a shadowy or a outline image of the individuals in their state of terror, like during the height of when this manifestation happened.
Oh wow. Okay.
Within the tunnel itself, possibly giving images of people scratching at the walls or huddling together, rocking, banging against the wall.
Yep, you do see this. These are all Aculians, so they're all this insectoid race. They're all working together to try and do it. And they're all a combination of the medium the medium Aculian, and then the larger kind of taskmaster looking one. None of these in this room were the small ones, which as you're going around, I'll just give this to you, and because you've kind of already seen it a fair bit on your way down here. The smallest, the worker drones, have a burrow speed. And while you were walking down here, I guess I should paint the picture. As you walk down here, you passed the human engineer Ludo, the Vlaka Captain Gustavo Rumer, kind of standing off to the side, observing the progress of the structures being built by the worker drones. And these drones, they're digging, they're hauling, but you also see them use a form of geomancy in that they are literally shaping the earth into columns, into struts, into girders, and you see this coming up to Akim. So when you see this ghostly manifestation of what happened in this cavern, you see that none of them in this room were these smaller worker drones, and if they even had one here, they might have gotten out or had a way out.
Actually, a quick question. Do I know about how many there were that suffered this calamity?
I don't have anything written, but about a dozen or so.
Okay. So, Lemon would gather all of their anchor points for the for their souls, and probably gather up some of the crystals that hold the anguish to amplify their psychic manifestation.
Sure.
Since it's those emotions that linger and got trapped within the crystals.
And I'll say that they definitely the way it pulsated in Akim and Tallie's hands when they held it, it's going to do that, but to a much greater degree as you start to, invigorate the emotions in this room.
With that, I would kind of wave Tallie away, kind of out of the projected area of this effect, and begin kind of a cleansing. Okay. I would start off with a prayer or hymn to Sarenrae, and let the pitch go higher. Once the hymn ended, I would actually cast my celestial radiance to bring the light 2 steps higher within a 10-foot radius, and I think it's 1 step higher, 20-foot radius out, to kind of like soothe their souls in the darkness.
Okay, so this is the first you've used that ability. Your celestial radiance, this comes from you being an Azamar. Okay, I just want people listening that may not know, like, you have this ability being a planar scion with some sort of celestial, angelic, however, whatever genealogy you have in mind. You can do this once a day, I think.
3 times a day.
3 times? Okay, and
yes.
So just and you do this entire cavern lights up. Those standing outside, Gustavo is blind, so he's not really affected by this, but Ludo definitely is standing by as this cave, and he's shielding his eyes. The workers that are around here, they're working in like perfect precision synchronization. Like they're working, and then when one of them catches this light, they all kind of stop and they hear this hymn, because cavern acoustics. They hear it, they see it, and they're just kind of stop what they're doing and watching in awe. Tallie, I want to hear from you about this. Seeing him do this, seeing this stage.
Before that, I would like to explain when he. I almost feel like I'm going a little too anime with this, but I think it's actually appropriate.
No, that's fine. Cool
when Lemon does his celestial radiance, his eyes basically look like they're glowing fire out, and his hair literally stands up on end and actually looks like it's a flame.
Sure, I love that. No, that's perfect.
He went Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Yep. This is Lemon from Concentrate.
Oh man!
But Tallie, you witnessed this. He beckoned you to get some distance. What is Tallie feeling in this moment?
God. What does a non-religious person feel at this moment?
Maybe she feels icky because of her fiendish blood.
She's not showing it, but of course, with his insight check, if he was paying attention, he would undoubtedly pick it up. She is a little impressed. She's like, wow, I've never seen him do anything on this level. I imagine if I didn't go too far off, you said it's really bright in there. So, yeah.
Yes. I don't know how bright it was before, but it goes up 2 steps.
Pitch black.
So then it goes up 2 steps, which I want to say makes it light.
Well, it's still the very quick the difference between the darkness, because she has dark vision, and she's that she's more probably used to that, and the bright light is a little much going that suddenly, and she kind of turns her head and kind of closes her eyes and puts her hand up in front of her face to block the light a bit. But said she kind of peeks underneath it, though. Definitely, this is very interesting.
Lemon, you're doing this. This is you're in your element. Just as much as Brasha is, I feel like this is kind of like you wholly in your element. I wasn't a play on words on purpose, but I caught it after. But this is you doing your god's work.
So I just rolled another mysticism check for, I would assume this being the next part of it. That'll be a 29.
Okay, yep.
16 plus 15.
Nice.
And with that, he would basically state out to them, your anguish can now be put to rest.
What language are you saying this in?
Since it's probably the closest thing to their language, I'd probably say this in Shirin.
Okay.
Since Lemon's logic is they are both branches from a similar species.
Sure.
So in Shirin, he will basically state to them, let your anguish go. Let your souls move on. Let your faith guide you to the next place of your journey. Let fear not hold you back. Let sorrow not keep you tethered. Let your souls be free. Let Sarenrae's light guide you. And hopefully, their souls will move on.
This happens. Tallie, you don't speak Shirin, I imagine.
Let me actually look. I don't.
Clickety clack click.
I speak a bunch because I do take the hell is it, culture. That's one of my things, but I don't think so. Abyssal Connect. So no, I do not speak.
Okay, so that's fine. So you hear Shirin being spoken from there. I don't know if Lemon has a accent that you would be able to discern, but you hear this language. This light glows even brighter. And Lemon, while in here, you see maybe one of the ones you tried to touch to share a language with. You see it start to rise. The body starts to lift itself up, and in everyone's head nearby, Tallie, Ludo, Gustavo, and Lemon, Tallie, you hear in your head, "We want to be free." And I'm going to go over to Brasha and Akim now, because I like teasing you guys.
Damn.
And we're getting time is approaching. So, Akim, you made your way up. You know the way by now. Between just general muscle memory and Karina, who has been plotting and mapping this entire area the entire time you've been down here, you make your way up the lower level, past the kind of common area where you see Kodai, Sig, and kind of mismatch of workers and drones kind of tearing apart this sea serpent carcass. You walk past the let's call it the underwater front porch that you all keep going to, and you see that Koof is standing there holding a spear. He's got a shield and he's wearing nice spiffy sea serpent skin armor. You walk past him, up, into the hive ship, down the halls, and you come to a room, and you see splayed out all over this room, this machine has been virtually completely taken apart down to the nuts and bolts, whatever they use as nuts and bolts, and Brasha. And Brasha, what does Akim see on Brasha when he walks in?
Probably a lot of grease. I mean,
No, like devilish grin or anything. I was giving you a moment to like look like a fucking badass, but
yeah, Brasha is kind of smiling and just tearing things apart carefully. And he'll probably hear you walk
done.
in.
Yeah,
oh,
at this point,
it's fully done.
Yeah, this has been some time has passed. You were careful the entire time. It's basically completely torn apart and spread out all around you. This cavern, this chamber is now full. Everything laid out like a surgeon's kit almost. Would you say?
Sorry, I was yawning.
You're fine. I'm sorry, I'm boring.
Yeah, he kind of like has his hands on his hips, just looking over everything, kind of double checking that no parts are missing. And as Akim walks in, he goes, hello, Akim. I have some parts that just kind of wore out over time. Also, do you have copper wire on you?
No, I don't have any copper wire. But I thought we were not supposed to turn the machine off.
Well, the machine was already not working.
It was working suboptimally, but now it's not working at all.
Well, yes, and now we can make it work better.
Yes, and hope that this one doesn't find the fucking planet. Okay, which parts do you need fixed?
He'll point out the handful of parts. They're probably more of the moving parts that have, just worn out over.
Sure. Yeah, there's a half dozen like key components that you can see. Like, you look at some of the pieces, like you can tell when something's busted to shit. And there is a small pile of them, or however you have them arranged. But yeah, you see those Akim. You see that they are just cracked due to age, wear.
All right, so I'm going to accept the point of burn and try to heal some of them.
So we haven't seen your healing in a bit. Tell me, like, what are the limitations? How much healing can you do per?
Per blast, I can do a maximum of 19 hit points.
Okay.
Basically, I use my blast damage to heal.
And what's your blast damage at level 5?
3d4 plus 7.
Oh, damn. Okay. 3d4 plus 7?
Yeah, because...
So minimum 10... Okay, yeah.
Yes, because it would be a fair bit less, but you told me to apply the specialization, or whatever it's called, to it.
Yeah. I'm a good GM. You're good. So yeah, you go ahead and start blasting these. You look at them. You give me an engineering check as you look at this mess, or not mess, this display tableau.
All right, engineering.
I got a 10.
A 10? Okay. This thing is almost entirely disassembled. You really can't make out what each of these components is because of their relation to each other. So it's kind of difficult for you to like, oh, I know what this is. Like, Brasha has context for what each of these parts would or could be. And you start blasting away at them. I don't think you need to know the exact... You don't need to have a complete comprehension of each item as you repair it. You are just turning back time.
Yeah, basically I just fix stuff.
Okay. So like, you can't do like a and I trust like rule of cool. Like, could you do like an AOE like blast of this, or is it like each item needs to be held?
I would say that's up to you. Generally, it is targeting a single thing.
Okay. You know how? Yeah, sure. Just a single thing. But each one, you, you focus your energy. This diffraction takes place, and with the sound of like reverse window breaking, this stuff kind of pops back into like flavor me what this looks like as you're going through this small pile of useless parts.
So, like, I imagine, like, as he's doing that, he's just taking each piece, maybe trying to bundle them together to make the most out of it.
Sure.
And like any cracks and stuff, like maybe something, like if they broke a long time ago, maybe at first it seems like very little is happening, but will just sort of break in reverse, or unbreak rather.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's probably little shards of the echoes of time around it.
Mm-hmm.
And like they tend to coalesce around the areas that are changing most.
Okay. So time. How long would you say this takes? Just less than 10.
It takes me an action per thing doing. I could do a maximum of 7 today. Because I've already used 1 point of burn down running incorporeal, and I can do a max of 8 burn per day.
Okay, yeah. You. So this happens. Brasha, what are you doing while Akim works his magic? Because you've seen this. Like, you've seen Brasha, or you've seen Akim do this before, and maybe this would be a good time for you to take a break. So, you tell me what Brasha would be doing while Akim does this.
Yeah, while he's doing that, I'm walking over to the small Aculian.
Okay.
And I kind of crouch down to him and very quietly go, "Hey, little guy, I am going to call you Grab 4 so I can distinguish you. Can you go get me some more of Fortinbras's magical drink and also get some delicious paste for Akim there?"
Grab 4?
You'll like grab this for me.
I just want to make sure I heard right. So yeah, Grab 4 is sitting there and looks up at you, and I've posted art here. I need to make sure I post on Twitter what these look like. This is just a little kind of bulbous headed insect creature with a couple extra arms than normal. Looks up at you, and it lifts up the fairly cooled at this point sea serpent flesh as it stands up.
I'm sorry, it's offering me this fish?
The sea, yeah. They brought it with them, yeah. So it's offering it up to you as it gets up. And in your head, you hear a small voice. For you.
Oh, thank you. But I don't eat anything that hasn't been manufactured. Akim, there's food for you when you're done with that. Since I know it takes a lot out of you.
So Grab 4 will set the stone plate down, and you'll hear a little scuffle into the distance. And this takes a bit. Like Akim, there are a fair few things here, so you're finished before.
It takes me less than a minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you finish, and the little scamper Grab 4. Perfect. Is still gone, but walk over, and there's Brasha, and there's a plate of serpent flesh. And you've only done 1 point of burn?
That's up to you. If I can bundle the things,
then I'll say it's really up to you. If not, I can only do 1 object.
I'll let you. I'll be a little flexible with this because I didn't write out what each part is named and how many there were. I'll say you can bundle a couple. You have several arms, so you do have to use. What's your max?
My max is 8.
I'll say
and
use
I already
3.
spent 1. 3? Okay.
Okay, yeah, a 3 additional on this.
So is that after the first one I spent, or 3 in?
No, 3 total. I'll say 3 total. Yeah, with all your arms and the bundling, like, and it's on me too. I should have had, like, I had a whole list of like, I'm gonna have this and name it this, and then I thought like it was kind of corny, so I didn't do much more with it. But yeah, you spend 3 points of burn to get this job accomplished, and they are all unbroken on the ground. And Brasha has offered you a snack.
At least it's not the paste.
What is wrong with the paste? Not that I ate any, but, it's not like previously living things.
Well, my only issue with it is really the texture. It's not pleasant.
Maybe Fortinbras could change that too.
I don't know, maybe. They say it's like some sort of fungus. If it's like mushrooms, I wouldn't mind those. But there's many kinds of fungus.
So what's so Akim, you still have your helmet on, but
Yeah.
He looks you're gonna like underneath. You're going to look a bit drained. You're going to look a bit aged and gaunt, and you stand there discussing the finer points of fungal nutrition. And after a few minutes, the little worker drone that was sent for you scampers back in and carrying a large bowl of this paste, and walks right up to you. And it just kind of, this thing doesn't even come up to your hip. I mean, these things are not big at all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grab4. You are an angel, and I love you. And I take the bowl and I pat him on the head.
Okay. Grab4 scampers to the other side of the door, and he just kind of finds an empty spot in this cavern to just perch himself, and he's just in there, just sitting there, looking at you. And are you going to eat? Are you going to eat any of the flesh or paste, Akim?
Wrong voice. Yeah, he'll spice up some of the meat.
Fair enough. Yeah, you'll spice it up. A little break. You're surrounded by this mess that Brasha gets to put back together fairly soon, maybe.
Yeah, and I had a thought that
Sure.
I would like to speak into existence.
Please.
So I think he has a favorite brand of hot sauces.
Okay.
And it's like from a small creator person, but they're called Heresy hot sauces. And they're all
Nice.
themed after like deities and great outsider powers. So like probably the one that he likes the most is Dining with the Dukes, which is like a devil focused hot sauce, and it's really fucking hot.
Dining with the Dukes. Okay. And I would like to delve a little more about what Dukes, who's Dukes, where Dukes. Next time. Same Hex time, same Hex channel, Hex Grid Heroes.